All right, I'm Taylor Phillips, and this is Louis Tenore. And this is episode 30 of True Sports. The NFL playoff races are getting down to the wire. My Lions lost to the Panthers. They played like shit, unfortunately, but they're still in it. But there's no margin for error anymore. They got the Bears. They got the lowly Bears at home this upcoming Sunday, and then that showdown in Lambeau Field. The Packers are catching up. They're tied with the Lions and Seahawks at 7 and 8. So yeah, there's that. The Giants and Commanders and Seahawks all lost. Also, the Saints also lost. So yeah, it's all down to the wire. So let me dig up the NFC playoff picture right now. The Eagles have clinched a playoff spot. The Vikings have clinched the NFC North. The 49ers have clinched the NFC West. The Cowboys have clinched a playoff spot. So both the Eagles and Cowboys are still battling for the NFC East. In the hunt, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still first in the NFC South. But only the teams with the best records that have clinched a playoff spot. Have clinched a playoff spot. There are 3 playoff berths left available, but Buccaneers are 6 and 8. Giants are 8-6 and 1. The Washington Commanders are 7-6 and 1. Seahawks, Lions, and Packers are 7 and 8. Oh wait, the Packers are 6 and 8. Wait a minute, that's not right. The Packers should be 7 and 8. Panthers are 6 and 9. Saints are 6 and 9. That's it. This is like a whole race getting down to the wire.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let me check the Packers on the NFL mobile app. I checked the playoff race on the browser, on the Safari browser on my mobile phone. Okay. Packers are 7 and 8. Yeah, so it's a 3-way tie between the Packers, Lions, and Seahawks. Oh yeah, the Commanders are 7-7 and 1. The Giants are 8-6 and 1. Yeah, I'm trying to refresh this damn thing back on the Safari browser. 7. How should they be 7? Okay, now it's updated.
Yeah.
Yep, now it's updated. The Packers 7 and 8, Commanders 7-7 and 1. So only 2 NFC teams have clinched their divisions, the Vikings and the 49ers. To the AFC, the Buffalo Bills have already clinched their AFC East division, 12 and 3. Chiefs, AFC West champions, 12 and 3. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens are still battling for the AFC North. They both have clinched each a playoff berth. The Los Angeles Chargers have recently punched their ticket to the postseason, 9 and 6.
First time in a while.
Yep. So the Chargers are gonna get a wild card spot because the Chiefs have already clinched the AFC West. The Jacksonville Jaguars and Miami Dolphins are in the hunt. Jaguars are 7-8. Dolphins are 8-7. The Patriots, Jets, Titans, Steelers, and Raiders are on the bubble. Patriots are 7-8. Jets are 7-8. Titans, Steelers, and Titans and Steelers are 7-8, and the Raiders are 6-9. So the Cleveland Browns have been eliminated 6-9. Don't know why. Shouldn't the Cleveland Browns still be in the bubble? Because the Raiders are 6-9. Yeah, the Raiders have a very little shot, like a long shot.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders should be eliminated. It says here the Cleveland Browns have been 6-9. So yeah, those races are down to the wire. It's all up for grabs. All those remaining playoff spots are up for grabs. They'll be determined week by week. So, to the college football playoff, that's near this Friday. Both games play this Friday. Michigan and TCU Friday at 4 on ESPN, followed by Georgia and Ohio State.
Taylor, I hate to correct you, but it's Saturday.
Saturday? I thought it was Friday.
Nope, New Year's Eve, Saturday.
Oh shit! Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Oh, well, I haven't checked it yet. Well, let me check football for the Michigan Wolverines on the official mobile app. Yeah, Saturday, December 3rd, TCU. That's right. It was December 31st, but I just got the day of the week wrong.
Yeah.
So no, Saturday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern. Still. Yeah. So we got 4 more days, not 3. Today's Tuesday. So, yeah, either way, I have to wait anyway. But I think Michigan's going to beat TCU. They still have to earn it, but I think they will. And then Georgia's going to roll over Ohio State. So it'll come down to Michigan and Georgia, the rematch from last year. Now, Michigan is trying to use that meeting last year with Georgia, which turned out to be ugly, as a motive to try to they've been using it as a motive to play an undefeated season by beating Iowa, beating Michigan State, and beating Penn State, crushing Penn State, and beating Ohio State, crushing them in the second half, and then beating Purdue, finishing them off in the second half for the Big Ten championship at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, where the Colts play. So Jim Harbaugh and his squad are 13-0. TCU got upset in overtime by Kansas State. Ohio State's coming off an ugly loss to Michigan, while Georgia, still number 1, undefeated at 13-0. So Michigan is going to have to earn that number 1 spot by they simply should have to go through and beat Georgia and win the title to earn that number 1 spot overall in all the ranking polls. For Michigan Wolverines everywhere on Twitter, whining and pouting and crying about why they should already be number 1 after beating Ohio State. After that fact, bunch of spoiled brats. There's still a bunch of spoiled brats out there.
Oh yeah.
Bunch of babies. They need to fucking grow up. I'm a Michigan fan, but I'm willing to learn. Because I've studied Georgia very well. They are like so fierce, the Bulldogs.
Yeah. You don't mess with a Bulldog. Mm-mm.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, Georgia's got Jalen Carter. Oh, that is a ferocious defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And Oluwatimi is Michigan's top offensive lineman. So I'm looking at that matchup between Olu and Jalen Carter. Offensive lineman versus defensive tackle up front.
Yes.
It should be a hell of a matchup.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. So. All right. So there's very little going. There's some going on in Major League Baseball, but that'll be on your True Sports Report with you, which begins now. Go ahead.
All right. First up, we'll check the scores. We're still going bowl crazy. Coming up in a little while, we'll have Wisconsin versus Oklahoma State in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. I think that's going at 5%. Okay. Earlier in the day, we had the Camilla Bowl as Buffalo eked out a win over Georgia Southern, 23-21. In the First Responder Bowl, Memphis clobbered Utah State 38-10. Oof, not good. And right now in the Birmingham Bowl, East Carolina is beating up on Coastal Carolina 45-21. Well, I was expecting a much better game with that. In the Carolinas. In the Carolina Bowl game. And Taylor, are you still there? I'll continue. All right. So for tomorrow's games, it goes this way. Tomorrow's games will be starting in very, very early as it goes down to. Oh, there we go. All right. So for the 27th of December, we have 28th, rather, I should say. The Military Bowl, UFC versus Duke. That's a 2 p.m. game. In the Liberty Bowl, Kansas versus Arkansas. 5:30. We also have the Holiday Bowl, Oregon versus North Carolina. And the Texas Bowl at 9 p.m., Texas Tech versus Ole Miss. Should be a fairly interesting game. I'm looking forward to seeing that. All right, so right now we'll go to the NBA. And right now the New York Knicks are up against the Dallas Mavericks, 92-80, with just about 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. I'm currently viewing that game right now as we speak. But the game's only on local TV, so and being that I live in the New York area, I'm able to get it whenever possible. Knicks are right now on a 3-game losing streak, so they're doing all they can to win this game. If they can only hold a lead. They had it in the third quarter against the Sixers, but they blew it. Okay, moving on. In the fourth quarter, right now the Suns leading the Grizzlies 98-80. The Thunder are leading the Spurs in the fourth quarter, 122-106. Going into the fourth quarter, okay, just getting underway, the Hornets are leading the Warriors 3-2, and the Nuggets leading the Kings 2-0, but those games are just started. Completed games, the Lakers are defeating the Magic 129-110. The Wizards over the Sixers 116-111. The Celtics over the Rockets 126-109. The Pacers over the Hawks 129-114. And the Clippers over the Raptors 124-113. So the standings, well, I'll do the schedule first. Then I'll do the standings. It might be better. So your schedule tomorrow goes like this. Starting with the 7 o'clock game was the Tragic versus the Pistons. You call them the Magic. The Suns take on the Wizards. 7:30, the Nets take on the Hawks. The Nets are the hottest team in the NBA right now. Winners of 9 straight. Who would have thought that back a month ago? Lakers take on the Heat. 8 o'clock, the Bucks take on the Bulls. Also at 8 o'clock, the Wolves take on the Pelicans. 10 o'clock games, the Jazz take on the Warriors. And the Nuggets take on the Sacramento Kings, who are also doing surprisingly well this season. By their standards, it is pretty good. They have a winning record. All right, so the standings go like this. The Celtics still lead the East at 25-10, 2 games ahead of the Bucks at 22-11. Look out for the Nets, 22-12, 2.5 back. Like I said, who would have thought that 6 weeks ago? Cavaliers are 3 back at 22-13. The Sixers are 20-13, 4 back. In the 6th position, the Knicks are 18-16, 6.5 back. I'd be careful with that if I were you people. Pacers are 18-17 at 7 back. At 7.5 back are both the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks at 17-17. And the Raptors bring up the rear at 15-19, 9.5 back. Further down the list, the Bulls are 14-19, 10 back. The Wizards, 14-21, 11 back. Sorry, Steve. The Magic are 13-22, 13 back. The Hornets are 9-25, 15.5 back. And the Pistons are, I hate to say this, fellas, but 8-28, 17.5 back.
They blew a 14-point lead. Dwayne Casey is a shit coach.
Loser.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to the West. The Nuggets, 21-11, have a half-game lead over the Pelicans at 21-12, surprising team this year. At 20-12 are the Grizzlies at a game back. The Clippers, 21-18, 2 back. The Suns, 3 back at 19-13. The Kings, 17-14, 3.5 back. Like I said, a big improvement. The Mavericks and Blazers are tied at 18-16, 4 back. Also 4 back are the Jazz, but they're 19-17. And the Warriors, 16-18, 6 back. Interesting. They have one of the best records at home, but on the road, oh boy, are they awful. 3-17 right now. Yeah. Moving right along, the Wolves are 16-18, 8 back. The Thunder, 14-19, 7.5 back. The Lakers, 14-20, 8 back. Spurs, 11-22, 10.5 back. And Houston, you have a problem at 10-24, 12 back. Houston, you don't have a problem. Houston, you are the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened to the Houston Rockets? Then again, I guess we're not living in the 90s anymore, are we?
Houston's problem is itself.
Yeah. Maybe you need to bring back Olajuwon. Nah, not going to happen.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I know. Back in my era. Yes, gentlemen, I am that old. Okay. So right now in the NHL, the Stars and Predators are tied at 2, 8:53 to go in the third. Maple Leafs and Blues are tied at 4, 7:32 to go in the third. The Wild are leading the Jets 3-1, 9:30 to go in the third. In the second, the Coyotes are up on the Avalanche 3-1, 9:03 to go. Now make that 8:54 to go. Oilers and Flames are tied in the second period, 1 apiece. And right now the Canucks are leading the Sharks 1-0, 13:54 to go in the first period. And coming up later, the Kings will take on, well, the Knights will take on the Kings, or vice versa. Completed games. The Hurricanes over the Blackhawks 3-0. The Capitals over the Rangers 4-0. Yuck. The Senators over the Bruins in a shootout 3-2. Wow, the Bruins lost. I'm shocked. The Islanders over the Penguins 5-1. Yuck. I gotta go throw up. The Blue Jackets and Sabres were postponed, obviously due to a blizzard that just won't end. At this point, they might be making the games up in July. Maybe. All right, so we'll go to the schedule here. Barring any blizzards or anything else, the schedule tomorrow will go like this. Oh boy,
There aren't any more blizzards. That was the only Winter Storm Elliott was the only blizzard, and it failed to knock out my power. Nice try, Elliott.
All right, so Wednesday's a light night in the schedule, so it goes like this. The Montreal Canadiens will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning at 7 o'clock. The Bruins take on the Devils at 7:30. That's a TNT game. Your Red Wings will take on the Pens at 7:30. The Golden Knights will take on the Ducks at 10. And the other TNT game, the Flames take on the Kraken at 10. The Kraken. Surprise team as well this year. I'm shocked. All right, so we'll check the standings. Go like this. Bruins still lead the Atlantic, 27-4-3. That's right, 27-4-3, 57 points. That's sickening. The Leafs, 21-7-6, 48 points. The Lightning, 41 points at 20-11-1. Red Wings, not bad, 14-11-7, 35 points. What's decent. Sabres, 16-14-2, 34 points, also respectable. Panthers, 15-16-4, 34 points. Senators, 15-16-2, 33 points. And also 33 points are the Canadians at 15-16-3, 33 points. To the metropolitan area, my division. Hurricanes are at 52 points at 23-6-6. Devils, 22-10-2, 46 points. The Capitals, who beat my Rangers, 20-13-4, 44 points. The Penguins, 19-10-5, 43 points. Also 43 points are the Rangers, 19-12-5. Okay. Islanders, 20-14-2, 42 points. Further down the list, the Flyers, 11-17-7, 29 points. And the hapless Blue Jackets, 10-21-2, 22 points. Oh, boy, that team was a disaster. To the Western Conference, in the Central, the Stars, 29-6, 46 points. The Jets, 21-12-1, 43 points. The Avalanche, 19-11-2, 40 points. Also 40 points are the Wild at 19-12-2. The Blues are 16-16-2, 34 points. The Predators are 14-13-5, 33 points. The Coyotes, 11-16-5, 27 points. And the Blackhawks, oh boy, what happened to this team? 8-21-4, 20 points. That's disgusting. And over to the Pacific, the Knights, 24-11-1, 49 points. The Kings, 44 points at 19-12-6. Kraken, 18-10-4, 40 points, and only in their second year. The Flames, 16-12-7, 39 points. Oilers, 18-15-2, 38 points. The Canucks, 15-15-3, 33 points. The Sharks, 11-18-6, 28 points. And the Ducks, 9-22-4, 22 points. Oh, boy. Just to recap on the NFL, I know we did that, but I'm going to recap anyway just for anybody else's sake, just in case there was any Jet fans out there like me. Oh, boy. So it'll go like this. To recap the entire divisions, because this way, Jets have a very slim chance right now as their faint hopes and hopefully can get a new quarterback. All right, so starting with the AFC East, Bills 12-3-0. The Dolphins are 8-7-0, still have a chance. Patriots and the Jets are tied at 7-8-0. Oh, boy. To the north, the Bengals 11-4-0, clinch the division. The Ravens 10-5-0. The Steelers 7-8-0. And the Cavaliers are the Browns, or I should say the Clowns, have been eliminated at 6-9-0. What a shock. To the AFC South. This division is nothing to write home about, as the Jaguars and Titans, they share the lead in the South, but it's pathetic at 7-8-0. Oh, boy. The Colts have been eliminated at 4-10-1, and the Texans are also eliminated at 2-12-1. Oh, boy. That division is awful. To the West, Chiefs 12-3-0, Chargers 9-6-0, Raiders 6-9-0, and the Broncos eliminated at 4-11-0, and they fired their coach. I'll explain that later. To the East, the Eagles 13-2-0. Dallas, who beat them on Saturday, are 11-4-0. Giants, who lost at the last second in Saturday's game to Minnesota, are 8-6-1, and the Commanders are 7-7-1. To the North, Vikings 12-3-0. Your Lions 7-8-0. Same thing with the Packers 7-8-0. And the Bears, who've been eliminated at 3-12-0. My brother is not happy. I'm sorry. To the other pathetic division in football in the NFC South, the Bucks 7-8-0. The Panthers 6-9-0. Along with the Saints 6-9-0, and the Falcons 5-10-0. Man, there are some pathetic divisions this year. Wow. To the West, 49ers 11-4-0, Seahawks 7-8-0, Rams Super Bowl hangover season at 5-10-0, and the Cardinals 4-11-0. Man, the Rams are having some hangover season this year.
Yeah, in Vegas.
Super Bowl hangover. That's what I call it.
The Rams.
Yeah, I don't know what the rest of you guys call it, but that's what I call it. When you're having a season that nobody thought, that's what it is. It's a Super Bowl hangover. I mean, you expected better from them, and you didn't get squat. All right, so let's do it like this. All right, Blues defenseman Torrey Krug was placed on injury reserve today with a lower body injury and won't be evaluated for 6 weeks. Krug has 5 goals, 12 assists in 31 games in his third season with the Blues. He will be on a long-term IR injury reserve exception to the salary cap. The Blues recalled defenseman Tyler Tucker from their AHL affiliate in Springfield. He had 1 goal and 12 assists. He has played 4 games for the Blues so far, serving only 5 penalty minutes. Well, that's not bad. Blazers forward Justy Winslow will miss 2 weeks with a grade 2 ankle sprain, announced today. Winslow injured his left ankle last Wednesday, and left the game early and will be evaluated again in 2 weeks' time. Now his 8th season out of Duke, who played for both the Clippers and Blazers, Winslow has 6.8 points, 5 rebounds, and 3.4 assists in 29 games this season. His career average, 8.2 rebounds, 5.1 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 2.6 assists in 344 career games for the Heat, Grizzlies, Clippers, and Blazers. These guys are traveling, man. What can I say? As I mentioned about the Kings, well, they're having a better season, but now comes the bad news as forward Domantas Sabonis has been diagnosed with a fracture in his right thumb of the UCL in his right thumb. Announced by the Kings. He'll be listed as questionable for tonight's game against the Nuggets, but he might choose to play through the injury, or as I call it, play through the pain. Sabonis suffered the injury in his non-shooting hand in the fourth quarter in their loss to the Wizards on Friday. He's been the driving force for the Kings' surge this season, averaging 17.9 points per game, 12.4 rebounds, and 6.7 assists, as they're now sixth in the West. The Kings have not played in the playoffs since 2005, the longest drought in the league. The Kings right now are 17-14, 3.5 games behind the Nuggets, and a half game behind the Suns for fourth. So it's been pretty interesting for Sacramento so far this year. I wasn't expecting much from them at all. Oh boy, here it comes. The Clippers overcame a 14-point deficit to beat the Pistons in overtime last night. Sorry. Clippers coach Tyronn Lue pulled his starters after the team fell behind a high of 14 points, but then a lineup of Luke Kennard, Amir Coffey, Nicholas Batum, and Moses Brown went on a 16-2 run. Terrence Mann was also there too. Mann hit a game-tying jumper with 5 seconds left. You gotta give the players credit for staying there. They came out with a sense of urgency. Amir and Moses were not in the game at that point, so for them to come into the game and for the set was huge. The Clippers outscored the Pistons 14-3 in the extra session and took control of it from there. Okay, moving along. Now, as I mentioned, the Nets have now won 9 straight in a row. Jacques Vaughn acknowledged what was the key to their success. Vaughn said basketball, said that before the game. The most important part of saying is we are trying to win this game. We step into the gym, and it's all about basketball. How we are going to take care of each other on the floor, cover for each other on the floor is about basketball. It was a difference noticed by many in the league who have watched this team go from a rocky start to the league's highest team after last night's win over the Cavaliers. And maybe they'll go for 10 straight tomorrow.
10 straight. That's an impressive streak.
Even for them, yeah. Suns guard Devin Booker left with a groin injury again in the first quarter in their overtime loss to the Nuggets last night. He had 2 points in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. He played after missing the last 4 games with groin soreness and now is out again with more soreness to the groin. Booker has made 1,045 three-pointers his career and needs 7 more to pass Steve Nash to top the franchise list. Now that says something right there. And right now it's becoming a much closer game here as the Knicks still lead the Mavericks, but it's only 6, 101-95, with 4 minutes and change in the fourth quarter. Oh, boy. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Okay. On the final night of Dirk Nowitzki's final home game of his career, Mavericks owner Mark Cuban promised to unleash the biggest statue ever in front of an American Airlines crowd to honor the legend and no doubt future Hall of Famer. No kidding. It's a promise that gives him great joy to deliver on because you earned it, Cuban told Nowitzki back yesterday. Minutes before the nearly 24-foot statue was unveiled, Sesame Street was renamed Nowitzki Way. The white bronze statue of his one-legged fadeaway jumper is the same shot that featured as silhouettes near the left block on both ends of the American Airlines center court. The shot was called the Dirk when he climbed to 6th on the all-time scoring list and became part of the repertoire of several current players that include Luka Doncic and LeBron James, who both played each other just a few days ago. Go figure. There was a lot of trash talk between the Warriors and Grizzlies in Sunday's game. With 3:43 to go in the fourth, Klay Thompson rose above Dillon Brooks to knock down a 20-foot jumper that put the Warriors up by 16. Brooks stumbled backwards, falling over the process as Thompson ran back on defense. He leaned over Brooks' side, shuffling 3 times while sticking his tongue in the face of Brooks. Ugh, how revolting. Just good old-fashioned trash talk, Thompson said. It's always fun to talk trash. We've been doing that since our junior high days. Well, so did I. You usually play your best when you get frazzled. For me, it's the former. Well, to each his own, I guess. Heading into that game, well, now Sunday's game, the Grizzlies sides were hesitant to call the relationship a rivalry. Sure, we have a brief rivalry. The Grizzlies eliminated the Warriors in the play-in tournament, and the Warriors eliminated the Grizzlies in the conference semifinals last season. Yes, there's been plenty of trash talk between both teams for the last several months, but it's not enough to be called a full-blown rivalry, said the Warriors. You're probably right. I mean, it's not like it's like the Celtics and the Lakers or Philly and the Knicks and whatnot. It's probably right. This is picking up steam, but for sure. But really develop a rivalry, there has to be multiple playoff series. The series last season was heated and contested. We know how good they are, and we try to keep the ball rolling as they try to knock us off the mountain. If it keeps up like that, yes, then you will have a rivalry, but not now. You gotta build up on that. And for those of you soccer fans out there, well, pretty bad news here. Family members of soccer legend Pele gathered at the hospital in San Pueblo on Saturday. His health is now taking a turn for the worst. Doctors said that Pele's cancer has spread and that requires care related to renal and cardiac dysfunction. The family said he would remain in the hospital over the weekend. Pele has received regular treatment since he had a tumor removed last September. And keep in mind, Pele is now at 82 years old. We've lost so many great people this year. The Lakers' Christmas took a turn for the worse when Mavericks blitzed the Lakers in the third quarter as the Lakers suffered a fourth straight loss without good old AD, Anthony Davis. Head coach Darvin Ham has continued to start Patrick Beverly, big mistake right there, alongside Dennis Schroeder in the backcourt, since Davis was sidelined by a stress injury in his right foot a week ago. Ham even used Russell Westbrook in the lineup at center. My question is what were you thinking? After the loss, the fourth straight, where the Lakers allowed their opponents to score 124 points, he was asked about the challenge of making up the absence of Davis with the rest of the roster. You throw everything up against the wall and it sticks, said Ham. It's those types of situations that Davis, not in the lab, we are not going to use that as an excuse. We have to start stepping up. And I'm a believer in that. The reality is without Davis, we lose strength that we don't already have. So we had to make up for that in ways. Without Davis, it's very difficult. So at one point, we even had Austin Reeves. Okay. LeBron led all scorers with 38 points and was 13 for 23 shooting. Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets scored another triple-double in his career and outlasted a shorthanded Suns team in overtime in the last of the Christmas Day games on Sunday night.
He's too good.
Yeah, you're right. Jokic got 41 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists for only the fourth time in history, joining James Harden and the big O, Oscar Robertson, who did that not once, but twice in his career. Michael Jordan never did that. Aaron Gordon put down a pivotal dunk that stood after review in the extra session as the Nuggets completed a comeback and ending the Suns' mini winning streak of 2. This was Jokic's 83rd triple-double of his career and only a week after a 40-point game with 27 rebounds and 10 assists. Okay, Knicks doing better now. Devin Booker, who returned from a groin injury, the first one before this last one, lasted only 4 minutes and 20 seconds after scoring 58 points in his last outing. Jamal Murray tied the game with 10 seconds on the regulation, but it was Gordon's dunk in OT that gave them the victory. At first, it was called an offensive foul, but after review, determined that Landry Shamet was moving and awarded Gordon with the basket and the free throw. The Suns had a chance to tie the game in overtime, but threw away the pass to tie the game. Whoops. Shamet scored 31 points for a career high. Booker went down with yet another groin injury. When it rains, it pours, folks. DeAndre Ayton had 22 points and 16 rebounds, and 6 players in double figures. Chris Paul also had 17 points and 16 assists. Gordon had 28 points, Murray 26 points. Overall, a very interesting game. Zion Williamson has been cleared to return to action after missing the last 2 games in league protocol. Williamson was not on the injury report before for the last tonight's game against the Pacers. The Pelicans fought through Williams' absence with wins against the Spurs and the Thunder. The depth of the Pelicans roster has improved in Williamson's 4th year. The Pelicans are 5-2 without Williamson. He missed 2 games in October against the Jazz. I missed 3 games with the right foot contusion. Oh boy. Yeah, he's too injury prone. That's the problem. That's just his problem. Okay, let's see what else we got here. And Stephen Curry will miss 2 more weeks as he recovers from a dislocated shoulder. He suffered in the game against the Pacers on December 14th. Curry, who's averaging 30 points, 6.8 assists, and 6.6 rebounds, missed the last 4 games for the Warriors, who were then 15-18 at the time of this report. The Warriors said that he's making progress and is scheduled for another exam in 2 weeks' time. Well, now less than 2 weeks. And that was the Warriors, as the Warriors face the Grizzlies back on Sunday. Yeah. And Ovechkin, he still got it. He did it again by scoring 2 goals and surpasses Gordie Howe for second on the all-time goal scorers list. That was against the Jets. Ovechkin scored twice, coming on the first period at 1 minute 38 seconds, tying Howe, then surpassed Howe with an empty net in the third, and it was his 22nd goal of the season. His empty net came when his back turned to the Jets net. He passed the puck to his teammate, Yves Kuznetsov, to take a shot at the goal, but then the pass was flipped back to Ovechkin. The captain flicked the puck between the Jets defenders into the empty net for the win over the Jets. The game was stopped briefly as Gordie Howe's son sent a video message for congratulating Ovechkin for surpassing Howe, a.k.a. Mr. Hockey. Now that says
talk
something when you're passing.
Talk about doing the honorable thing.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Against Gordie Howe, one of the legends of all time. In a career that spanned 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did stop briefly, but then when the when the WHA came, he made his comeback. Even at 51 years old. Wow. Even at that age, that's never saying something. All right, so speaking of Anthony Davis, who had the stress fracture in his right foot, might be able to return in January after another 7 to 10 days of rest. So we think. I told about ESPN. The Lakers announced back on Saturday that Davis remains out with a stress injury, but sources say they hopes that he will avoid surgery and could be in possession to return if progress continues. One can only hope about that. The Lakers will remain cautious on the injury. There is hope that there could be a pathway of resuming play sometime after the evaluation in early January, which should be about, the evaluation should be about a week from now. For now, there's hope that procedure could be avoided. So we're all hoping on that. And Warriors forward Draymond Green made a blunt assessment about what is holding him back after a 1-5 road trip. He said right now the team is fragile, Greens after practice back on Friday. You start going through these things and you start to believe them. Then it becomes who you are. Mm-hmm. The only way to break them is by being mentally tough. The Warriors sent off on a road trip, which was a 60-point win over the Celtics. 2 days, when you look back at the win, and we built some momentum and started to turn the page. We did turn the page, but went in the wrong direction. 2 days later, Warriors were outmatched by the Bucks. Then Stephen Curry suffered a shoulder injury that was sidelined for the past few weeks. The Warriors then lost back-to-back games of at least 30 points by the Knicks and the Nets. Green started. I think there's a team that has struggled from the Spirit perspective since then. You can't say that if you want in between playing at home and playing on the road, but it's mental. It's a team struggling mentally, and it makes it hard to overcome anything else. The Warriors at this point were a league worst 3-16 on the road this season. 3-16. That is just. I don't know what I can tell you about that, but that is just horrible. And the Sabres game was postponed due to blizzard conditions as bone-chilling temperatures just plunged the area. The Sabres postponed their home game against Lightning, and the Red Wings and Senators was pushed back as well. That was before the Christmas break. And, okay, Knicks are up by only 3 with 12 seconds to go. Oh, boy. This is going to be down to the wire again. As usual. All right, so moving on down the line here. Okay, there's some interesting news on the college football side as a Wake Forest quarterback is looking to transfer. Just a second here. Okay, Sam Hartman has he entered the transfer porthole as a graduate transfer, told ESPN. Hartman set the ACC record for touchdown passes at Wake Forest, throwing 110 passes in 5 seasons. One of those 5-year seniors. Okay. Hartman is second in ACC history with 12,697 passes, and only Philip Rivers has more. He was better in college than a pro. Hartman started 45 games for Wake Forest in his career. Notre Dame is likely to land Hartman. The Irish are in need of a quarterback, desperately. And the transfer of Drew Pye to Arizona State. Hartman is seeking a high-end solution to keep him from entering the NFL draft and will take a week to explore his options. Oh, boy. Left-hand pitcher Rich Hill and the Pirates agreed on a 1-year deal worth $8 million, so we're still ESPN, uniting Hill with his 12th big league team and will be now the oldest player in the majors next season. Hill will returns 43 in March, carved out a role is recently as a 5-inning specialist. With the Red Sox last season, he started in 26 games and threw 124.5 innings and had a borderline 4.27 ERA. I say borderline because anything over 3.5, The deal, which is pending a physical, would add Hill to a roster filled with young pitchers, including right-handers Mitch Keller, Ronzi Contreras, Luis Ortiz, and John Oliveto. Right-handed prospects Quinn Brissett and Mike Burrows also finished at AAA last season. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. Spring training's just about 6 weeks away. Hill in his career was 82-59 with a 3.5 ERA in 1,259 innings. He struck out 1,294 batters, walked 482 of them, and gave up 151 home runs. Not bad. Okay. I think this might be the story of the day as Cardinals defense lineman J.J. Watt has announced his retirement, and that will happen at the end of the season. He said in a tweet, his heart filled is nothing filled with love and gratitude. It has been an honor and pleasure. He tweeted a picture with him holding his son Koa, standing next to his wife Kella during Sunday's game between the Cardinals and the Bucks. His last two games of his career will be on the road against the 49ers and the Falcons. So last week was his last home game. Watt is likely a first ballot Hall of Famer and is one of only 3 players to win 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Aaron Donald and longtime Giants linebacker Lawrence is the other one. Lawrence Taylor, that is. He was selected 11th in the 2011 draft outside of Wisconsin. He had a career spanning 12 seasons, 10 though with the Houston Texans, and is one of 3 brothers playing in the league. One of 3 brothers. Wow. What do you do with that? Wow. Patriots quarterback Mac Jones responded to the Bengals cornerback Eli Apple calling him out for what he thought was a dirty play in Saturday's game, saying there was no bad intentions. The NFL is reviewing the play for source, which is a standing procedure in every game as part of the on-the-field code of conduct for all players. Those that are in violation will be fined. And we've seen a lot of that. Our switch to fines. The play raised Apple's Erie came at 6:18 in the fourth quarter on the Bengals' 30-yard line. When Jones underhanded an incomplete pass while in the grasp of the Bengals safety Von Bell. The referee blew the play dead and signaled it incomplete while linebacker Jermaine Pratt scooped the ball loose, racing toward the end zone with the possibility that he could be overturned for a fumble. On his run, Pratt was being tailed by Patriots receiver Tyquan Thornton and Jones, who sprinted in that direction with hopes of catching him. By the time Jones reached the 26-yard line, he dropped to the ground in front of Apple, who was spinning down the field. Okay. After the Bengals won, Apple told Nesson.com that he had tripped him. I thought it was a dirty play. He has done this before. Jones explained his view during a radio interview yesterday. I went down in front of him, getting in the way to stop him from slowing down Tyquan, who could make the tackle. That said on WEEI in Boston. I hate that station. So I just went down in front of him, trying to stop a fast guy from getting to another fast guy. In a split-second decision, and there's a lot that goes into your out there trying to compete. It's a physical game, so you're just trying to help the team win. I suppose so. All right. Chargers safety Derwin James pumped his fist while bouncing his Santa hat as coach Brandon Stanley put his arms around owner Dean Sparrows as he presented James with the game ball. I've been waiting to give him the game ball since I got here. Stanley shouted with joy.
Oh, man, you're not going to believe this. Tied at 115 going to overtime.
I'm going to hurl. He has been patient with this team. He has invested in this team. He has brought us all together.
Luka Doncic, baby.
Yeah, I know. Stanley and the rest of the Bolts have plenty to celebrate in the visitors' locker room as they beat the Colts. Now we are going 115-115. Oh, boy. For the first time since 2018, the Chargers will make a return to the postseason as they improve to a record to 9-6. I didn't expect that at all, to be honest with you. The Chargers entered Week 16 with the direct path to the postseason. as they're the 6th seed team with the win over the Titans. However, their postseason berth came earlier than expected as the Jets, Patriots, and Raiders all lost. This is
The
just the
Knicks
beginning.
the Knicks failed to the Knicks failed to rebound that on that miss by Doncic at the free throw line, and Doncic ended up with a basketball, and he tied it at 2 with exactly a second left.
They can't hold a lead. That's the problem. The Knicks cannot hold a lead. This is just beginning, said Stanley. This is not our goal. We still have 2 more games to play against really good teams. We need to play our best football. So not only can we make the playoffs, but maybe make a run at the Super Bowl. That's our goal. Yeah, well, good luck with that, buddy. At 9-6, 80 finished 11-6. I don't know that's going to be enough. Well, time will tell, but still, that's a pretty tall order. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has entered concussion protocol a day after losing the Packers, said by Coach Mike McDaniel. McDaniel said Tua displayed many concussion symptoms when he spoke to team doctors yesterday, and then was placed into the protocol. McDaniel added they was not sure on what play that Tua suffered the concussion, and you call yourself a coach. Backup quarterback Teddy Bridgewater would take first snaps into his absence, but it's too early to tell who will be starting. Will be a starting quarterback as they face them on Sunday. You call them the Patriots. You guys know how I feel about that team. Yeah. As the 4-game losing streak for the Jets wasn't bad enough, now comes word that wide receivers coach Miles Austin has been suspended for a year, violating the league's gambling policy. Okay. Talk about the ridiculous sign of the week. The league issued a statement that Austin has been suspended and is appealing the suspension. The league will not comment any further until the appeal has been resolved, said by the league. Austin must serve a suspension before applying for reinstatement. The NFL has been investigating Austin for some time now, after it was found that he was gambling on sports, not NFL or college games, which violates the NFL gambling policy. He had a 9-year career, mostly with the Cowboys. He had 361 receptions for 5,273 yards and was selected to 2 Pro Bowls. And yet he resorts to this. Okay. Well, the Jets' slim playoff hopes got a boost over the weekend as Mike White has been cleared for next Sunday's game against the Seahawks. Oh, boy. White, who fractured 2 ribs in the December 11th game by the Bills, linebacker Matt Milano, was cleared by doctors yesterday, said by Coach Robert Slag. White missed the last 2 games because doctors only cleared him to practice and not play. And as a result of that, lost both games, of course. Joe Flacco will be the backup as Zach Wilson will be inactive. Okay, double trouble right there. Flacco. The Denver Broncos fired head coach Nathaniel Hackett. The announcement came yesterday. The Broncos are 4-11 this season with 2 games left to play and were crushed by the Rams 51-14 in what was, of course, the battle of the pathetic. Hackett's dismissal puts an abrupt end to the shortest coaching tenure in franchise history. The new ownership group, the Walton Penner Group, led by Walmart heir Robert Walton, daughter Carrie, and son-in-law Greg Penner, ran out of patience with the team, has one of the league's best defenses, but the offensive side, well, that's another story altogether. It's pretty bad, folks. The search is already on for a new head coach. A news conference was scheduled for noon today. I didn't hear anything else about it, but when I get more details, I'll let you know. I guess things are not so good on Walton's Mountain. Oh, I had to throw that in. Good night, John Boy. Okay. Scheduling change for Sunday's games as The Ravens and the Steelers are now going prime time. The Steelers-Ravens game, which was to be played at 1 p.m. on New Year's Day, will now be the night game, and the Rams and Chargers will now be at 4:25. The Ravens, who have clinched a playoff berth on Saturday, will likely need to win their last two games to clinch the division and host a wild card home game. The Ravens could also lead the Steelers for the postseason connection if earlier games had not killed their chances already, which at this point they probably have. It's not looking good for Pittsburgh. But I'm not surprised. Eagles are hoping that four-time Pro Bowler Lane Johnson will return to the postseason after suffering an abdominal tear and expected to miss the last 2 weeks of the regular season. Johnson underwent an MRI that confirmed the nature of the injury, which he suffered in the fourth quarter to last Saturday's loss against my Cowboys. Jack Driscoll replaced Johnson at right tackle for the remainder of the game. The Eagles also have the option of switching Jordan Malta from left tackle to right tackle, as Andre Dillard will take over that position. I don't know if it's fair or not, but that's how they'll do it. Johnson left in Week 14 early against the Giants with an abdominal strain. He was limited in practice the next week, but played against the Bears, but did not have a single carry in that game. Ugh. Not one single carry. That doesn't say much for you. Okay, and a battle coach, sideline arguments, turnovers, and outside linebacker Randy Gregory then put an end as he threw a punch in the post-game walk-off. Indeed, the Broncos felt as they lost season swirled down the drain, and this time a loss to the Rams, who are just as bad. It was the Broncos' 10th loss in 12 games and are still 0 for 10 on the American side in road games, with the only exception being the Jaguars in London. So I guess maybe you should just stick to playing in games in London. Yeah. I think they're upset at losing. We have done, said the Broncos coach Nate Hackett, said before the meltdown and before his firing. We went in with a mindset that we were going to win, but in the end, we just were not ready. Well, not ready. Mentally, you weren't. Hackett, his staff, and players might have built up good in last week's win over the Cardinals by showing tenacity 2 weeks ago by making a close game against the Chiefs, but in Sunday's game against all came crashing down as the Rams scored on 8 of their 9 possessions. Oof. The only possession they did not score was when Baker Mayfield took a knee with only 6 seconds left, so there was no need for that. Russell Wilson threw 2 interceptions on the Broncos' first 3 pass attempts, and the turnovers were not bad enough. The Rams got the ball on the Broncos' 11 and 34-yard line and scored a touchdown on both of their possessions, adding insult to injury, as the old saying goes. Yeah. And they were expecting the Broncos to do a lot better this year. And right now, Dallas has the lead 118-116. This is not looking good for Knicks fans. Again. Ugh.
It's still a battle.
It's a battle. It's true.
Oh, block.
After Baker
By
Mayfield
Christian Wood.
has best performance with the Rams, Coach Sean McVay asked, whoops. It just got away from me. How the hell? All right. But I'll continue on. After having the
Christian Wood gets fouled, he'll shoot 2 free throws for the Mavs.
He was asked if he's been good or better than his expectations since he joined the team on December 6th. I think better, McVay said, but I was always a fan of him, and I think he's played very well. And you have to think about what he has done to come here and play around with a lot of guys who have not been able to lead that charge. In yesterday's game, Mayfield Mayfield led the Rams to victory over the Broncos, in which the Rams never punted. Imagine that. Never in the whole game. Wow. The Rams scored on all but the last 3 of their 9 drives when they took over on downs with only 6 seconds left. Mayfield completed 24 for 20 passes and 230 yards for the win. And the Bengals will be without Lavelle Collins for the rest of the regular season after suffering a double whammy of a torn MCL and ACL in his left knee in the win over the Patriots. Yep, a double whammy. Oof. Collins went down in the first quarter. Out of the Patriots defense, Darvin Grotex rolled up the back of his leg. Ugh. And that sent him out of the game. Rolled in the back of his leg. Ugh. Sounds pretty ugly to me.
Luka Doncic, 56 points, the most points in a game by a Dallas Maverick.
Yeah.
56, man.
Oh, boy. So after the game,
Respect.
I know. After the game, Collins said that the early tests indicated that Collins did not suffer any further structured damage. Collins told ESPN he felt the knee was stable and perhaps avoided serious injury. However, the diagnosis was pending an MRI to get more information yesterday when the team returned to Cincinnati. A representative for Collins could not be reached in time for comment. So what else is new? They're never available for comment. What do you expect? Yeah. Ooh. That was just a trivia question. Okay. Say the for my show, people. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think that it's going to wrap up for me, so I'll just turn right back over to you.
All right. So we're going to keep it here. 129 left in overtime. Mavericks lead the Knicks 120 to 116, but we have a foul called, I think, on Christian Wood on the putback attempt. So there'll be 2 free throws coming. Looks like Julius. No, that's Robinson, I think. So let me take a sip of my water here.
Yeah. Good idea.
See this?
Yuck. Yeah, they're reviewing it now.
It's under review. Okay.
They just wanted the control.
I don't know. There may not have been any contact at all. Mavericks are challenging this.
Time out, folks.
But the Red Wings are 7 points behind another team. They got to get going.
Yeah. Well, down by 4 with a minute and a half to go. Doable, but you got to get dragged together right now.
The Red Wings are 7 points behind the Islanders for wildcard spot number 3. But the Pittsburgh Penguins and New York Rangers are both hold the first 2 Eastern Conference wildcard spots in the NHL. 43 points each. That's tight.
I just stumbled on something here. Free agent pitcher Nathan Eovaldi agreed to a contract today with the Texas Rangers. The team announced the deal later in the day. The deal is for 2 years and $34 million. That includes a 3rd-year vesting player option, said by Jeff Passan of ESPN. Performance bonuses in the contract can take the total value even higher. Eovaldi has potential for multiple roles, as he both started and came out of the bullpen last season for the Red Sox. He was Boston's opening day starter and, in fact, finished the season 6-3 with a 3.7 ERA and 100, 103 strikeouts, I believe. So the Rangers are going to get some.
Mitchell Robinson splits the pair at the free throw line, 120 to 117. Mitchell Robinson is 4 for 8 at the free throw line.
Get a 3, stupid. Evaldi, 103 strikeouts. Evaldi will turn 33 in February. Broke in with the Dodgers in 2011. Went 1-2 with 3.63 ERA. He pitched for the Marlins, Yankees, Rays before landing with the Red Sox in 2018, helping them win the World Series that fall. Yuck.
Here's an update for you. I'm gonna put this on the banner right now. 58 points for Luka Doncic. Oh, here's a 2 by Mitchell Robinson. 122 to 119 here.
Okay, I need one more 3 though.
Yeah, the Knicks need a stop first.
Yeah.
But Luka Doncic is dangerous. He just drew a foul on Julius Randle. And both teams are in the bonus, including the Mavericks. So Luka Doncic will shoot 2 free throws. Yeah, Doncic got whacked big time by Randle, and he stays up. It's thankfully okay. Julius Randle, by the way, 29 points, 5 foul. Luka Doncic now has 59 points.
You got it.
Yeah, 59 points for Luka Doncic. Most by a Maverick in a single game.
I'll give him credit for that, but still. And you guys should have anymore.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah, first 60 point, 20 rebound, triple double in NBA history. Damn. That is history made.
That is history.
In the National Basketball Association.
It's sickening on my part, but
now the Knicks miss on the other end. The Mavericks are just running out the clock.
Yeah. And now lose their 4th straight.
Luka Doncic is hobbling a bit, but he's okay. Clock stops at 8.5 seconds left. Yeah, Detroit, Michigan sent them a shocked emoji. Yeah, 60 for Luka Doncic.
Oh.
Holy shnikes. Hokey smokes Bullwinkle. Oh, man.
Oh, hey, Rocky, you didn't see the rub my head? Oh, no.
Yes! I've seen that show before when I was a kid.
So did I.
Yeah. Luka Doncic sits down. Spencer Dinwiddie makes both free throws, 126-119 Mavericks. Next on the other end, Mitchell Robinson from Julius Randle. Robinson a slam dunk. And that is it. Mavericks win in overtime, 126 to 121. One more comment here. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it is amazing. Damn right it is. So, that is our grand finale for episode 30 of True Sports. He's Louis Tenore. I'm Taylor Phillips. Ta-ta for now. Hit him with a hind. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.